Hello to all traders and welcome to another video brought to you by Orbex. We're looking at stocks today, oil company stocks in particular, BP, Total, Chevron, ExxonMobil, you name them, they've all made profits in the last readings of their quarterly earnings. BP most significantly up over $8 billion in the last 3 months, and obviously this is due to higher inflation, the conflict going on between Ukraine and Russia, which has tightened oil supplies around the world. But it seems like these major oil companies are reaping the benefits at the moment. All four companies have, in the space of these 3 months of the second quarter, have now racked up over $55 billion in profits, and making quite a big turnaround if you think about it from when the COVID pandemic did hit and we saw these record lows, not only in the oil company stocks but also in oil as well, as it sank into negative territory. So with that being said, where do these oil companies go from now? And also oil in general, you know, crude oil, Brent oil, these oil, you know, commodities, let's say, are all teetering above $100 a barrel at the moment. So we're seeing what's going to happen in the next few months as the cost of living kind of keeps spiraling out of control. You know, there is no downturn for inflation at the moment. The next inflation figures for America sees it go higher only by half a percentage point, but still the consensus is that in the UK it could reach over 15%. At the moment it's 9%. It could reach quite hefty figures. So with that being said, Europe is looking for more of a respite, but will it get it? Well, let's look at BP first of all today. So at the moment we're seeing another upturn in fortunes. We will see if we're going to have any jumps in the prices, because at the moment we're on this kind of V-shaped recovery to the last peak that we saw at the beginning of June. So not so long ago, you know, just under 2 months ago, that we saw quite a hefty surge in price action, and now we could possibly see it again with this news that BP excuse me, will not only make more record profits in the third quarter but until the end of the year as well, because obviously these Ukraine-Russia tensions are not going to stop anytime soon, and the inflation crisis, it doesn't look like it's going to slow down either. So these oil companies and other companies in general, not just oil, keep an eye out for the surging demand, and that's going to affect inflation as well. So at the moment what we're looking at is, because we've pierced the Ichimoku cloud, this is on the daily chart by the way, we are now seeing possible signs of a slight consolidation before we start heading higher. This is the estimate for a few of the analysts here at Orbex, that we will see more of a price jump in these oil supplies as we go into the third quarter of 2022. Not too much direction on the RSI at the moment, but if we look on the 4-hour chart, we are seeing now that prices have actually moved out of the cloud. We are trading in a bullish variant, and now we're going to see where the next line will cross. Well, at the moment we're seeing this kind of slight divergence, because this was just a little bit lower earlier, so there was a slight divergence at the moment, but the bearish divergence on the RSI seems to have been gone. So we're now looking at a full-fledged bullish market at the moment. So we're looking now, we've crossed above the 400 region. Will we now see the 450 region being hit in the near future? Well, from this V-shaped recovery, it looks like it probably will do, but we'll see. We'll not take it step by step, day by day. As I said, we're putting in some buy. We've already put buy positions in beforehand, because since the Ukraine-Russia crisis did happen, and obviously the inflation rates surging quite dramatically, there was always going to be a predictability that these big oil companies would make some fast money, and it looks like they haven't disappointed from a lot of the market as well. Looking on Chevron as well, put it on the daily chart because I just want to accentuate this jump in prices due to the news that they have made, well, their profits have pretty much tripled in the last 3 months. So because of this very predictable price action, but now we're looking at the next opportunity, which is the next important thing, and we're seeing now that this gap could actually be, just take this off so it's easy to see, this gap now could easily be enclosed if prices do start jumping down. It's always important to remember that when there is a big price gap in the market, there could be an exhaustion. It might not always be a runaway gap, it could be an exhaustive gap, which means that the gap could close, and then we could see those sell positions put in, or buy positions depending on which way the gap has gone, and get those profits very easily. So this is something that I'm looking out for in the next few trading sessions. If we look on the 4-hour chart as well, My main focus at the moment is if we're going to fill this gap. There are some red bearish candles on the horizon here. So if we get another couple and we start meeting these lines, then a nice sell position could be put in there to fill this gap here. So we'll see if we get into there. If we're looking on other technicals as well, I'll just be checking if we're going to pierce this top border of the Ichimoku cloud and then start moving lower to reclaim this gap as well. But let me know what you think, and obviously there's this bearish divergence to take into account as well. So that's all from today's stock watch. Let me know your thoughts and suggestions, and let's see if this comes into fruition. So that's all from today, and bye for now.